We continue a Vedic Reader for Students by Arthur A. Macdonell with Varuna. Besides Indra, 2:12, Varuna is the greatest of the entities of the Rig Veda, though the number of the hymns in which he is celebrated alone, apart from Mitra, is small, numbering hardly a dozen. His face, eye, arms, hands, and feet are mentioned. He moves his arms, walks, drives, sits, eats, and drinks. His eye with which he observes mankind is the sun. He is far-sighted and 1,000-eyed. He treads down wiles with shining foot. He sits on the strewn grass at the sacrifice. He wears a golden mantle and puts on a shining robe. His car, which is often mentioned, shines like the sun and is drawn by well-yoked steeds. Varuna sits in his mansions, looking on all deeds. The fathers behold him in the highest heaven. The spies of Varuna are sometimes referred to. They sit down around him. They observe the two worlds. They stimulate prayer. By the golden-winged messenger of Varuna, the sun is meant. Varuna is often called a king, but especially a universal monarch, Samraj, the attribute of sovereign, Kshatra, and the term Asura are predominantly applicable to him. His divine dominion is alluded to by the word Maya, occult power. The epithet Magin, crafty, is accordingly used chiefly of him. Varuna is mainly lauded as upholder of physical and moral order. He is a great lord of the laws of nature. He established heaven and earth, and by his law heaven and earth are held apart. He made the golden swing, the sun, to shine in heaven. He has made a wide path for the sun. He placed fire in the waters, the sun in the sky, Soma on the rock. The wind which resounds through the air is Varuna's breath. By his ordinances, the moon, shining brightly, moves at night, and the stars are placed up on high, are seen at night, but disappear by day. Thus, Varuna is Lord of Light, both by day and by night. He is also a regulator of the waters. He caused the rivers to flow. By his occult power, they pour swiftly into the ocean, without filling it. It is, however, with the aerial waters that he is usually connected. Thus he makes the inverted cask, the cloud, to pour its waters on heaven, earth, and air, and to moisten the ground. Varuna's ordinances, being constantly said to be fixed, he is preeminently called Virtavrata, whose laws are established. The entities themselves follow his ordinances. His power is so great that neither the birds as they fly, nor the rivers as they flow, can reach the limits of his dominion. He embraces the universe and the abodes of all beings. He is all-knowing, and his omniscience is typical. He knows the flight of the birds in the sky, the path of the ships of the ocean, the course of the far-traveling wind, beholding all the secret things that have been or shall be done. He witnesses men's truth and falsehood. No creature can even wink without his knowledge. As a moral governor, Varuna stands far above any other entity. His wrath is aroused by sin, the infringement of his ordinances, which he severely punishes. The fetters, pasas, with which he binds sinners are often mentioned, and are characteristic of him. On the other hand, Varuna is gracious to the penitent. He removes sin as if untying a rope. He releases even from the sin committed by men's fathers. He spares him who daily transgresses his laws when a suppliant, and is gracious to those who have broken his laws by thoughtlessness. There is in fact no hymn to Varuna in which the prayer for forgiveness of guilt does not occur. Varuna is on a footing of friendship with his worshipper, who communes with him in his celestial abode and sometimes sees him with mental eye. The righteous hope to behold in the next world Varuna and Yama, the two kings who reign in bliss. The original conception of Varuna seems to have been the encompassing sky. It has, however, become obscured because it dates from an earlier age, for it goes back to the Indo-Iranian period at least, since the Ahura Mazda, the wise spirit of Avesta, agrees with the Asura Varuna in character, though not in name. It may even be older still, for the name Varuna is perhaps identical with the Greek Auranos, sky. In any case, the word appears to be derived from the root vr, cover, or encompass. Well, Sanskrit has older origins than just something being in Greek, so... Well, I mean, Sanskrit goes back further, Sanskrit, 786 meter Tretub 1. Dhiratu asya mahinna janam she veyastastambha vrodasi cherurvi pranakam rishvam nunuda Brhantam Dveta Nakshatram Paprathacha Bhuma. Intelligent indeed are the generations by the might of him who has propped asunder even the two wide worlds. He has pushed away the high, lofty firmament and the day star as well, and has spread out the earth. Day star Venus. Vira, Sep 7C, Achitayad, Achita, and 766, Achitasam, Chich, Chianta, Daksha'e. They, with their skill, make even the unthinking think. Asya, Varun Asya, Mahimna, 92, page 69. Varuna, as well as other entities, is several times said to hold apart heaven and earth, exit 671, which are supposed to have originally been united. Pra, Nunud, pushed away from the earth, Sep 799-2 of Vishnu, Ud, Astabna, Nakam, Rishvam, Brhantam, thou didst prophet the high, lofty firmament. Nakam means the vault of heaven. There is nothing to show that it ever has the sense of sun, which Sayamna gives it here. Sayamna also makes the verb nunuda, though unaccented, depend on the relative in B. C is, however, equivalent to a relative clause, Sep 212, 5b, 8d. Nakshatram in the singular, this word regularly refers to the sun. In the plural, to the stars. Varuna and other entities are often said to have raised the sun to, or to have placed it in heaven. Divita, doubly to be taken with nunud, that is, he raised up from the earth, both the vault of heaven and the sun. Paprathat, Papaf of Prath, 146, accented because it begins with a new sentence, Bhuma. Note the difference between Bhuman, the noun earth, and Bhuman, multitude. page 259. But except for the little accent of that being the last A being shorter, we don't really. But world can be used in different senses other than the earth or the, Two. Utasvayatanua sambadetat kadanuantar Varuna vuvane Kimmehavyam marnano josheta kada mrlikam sumana avikyam. And I converse thus with myself. When pray, shall I be in communion with Varuna? What oblation of mine would he free from wrath enjoy? When shall I of good cheer perceive his mercy? Svaya tanva, with my own body, equals with myself. Nav antar, look at the site. Note that when a final original R appears in the Samhita text, it is represented by Visarjaniya only in the Pada text. On the other hand, anta in 771.5 appears as antar ite, within Varuna, united with Varuna. Bhuvana, 1s sub root ao of bu ve kyam, 1s o of kya. And one of the things is that, see, when you worship, it's going through you. You're evoking yourself first. If you work on evoking yourself as part of the ritual, then it's not just some hocus pocus, you could say, and it's not and there's other stuff about it, right? Because you're developing yourself, and you give yourself permission to do things and stuff like that. Now, I'm not displaying the discounting the idea that there can be a divinity or there can be entities that respond to what you're doing or something, but have the success in what it does to you yourself, and then the other stuff will just build on that. 3. Prachatadano Varuna dinrukshu upoeme cheketusho viprcham samanam minme kavayaschin ahur ayam hatubhyam varuno harnita. I ask about that sin, O Varuna, with a desire to find out. I approach the wise in order to ask. The sages say one and the same thing to me. This Varuna is wroth with thee. Prcha, 1s per end a of prach, ask. Did rakshu is difficulty. It is a difficulty. It has been explained as el pull of a supposed word. Did Rus, a very improbable formation among those who see. See also ns of a disaj. Did Rukshu with the wrong accent. Well, it was the right accent. Just in page 461F, and wrong sande for did Rukshur. Apo equals desirous of seeing, i.e. finding out. It is probably best following the padapatha to take the word as n of disaj, used adverbially with the adverb shift of accent with the desire to see, i.e. find out. Upo, upau, 24. Kitushas, a uppercase A, pull of the puff put of chit, perceive, the cham, accented ineth, 167 to A, harnita, third S per A, uppercase with the line over it, of har, be angry, W, dative, 200L. 4. Kim aga asa. Varuna dyeshtam yadstotaram jegam sase sachayam pratanmevokodu Nava svadavo avatvanana namasa tura yam. What has been that chief sin, O Varuna, that thou desirest to slay thy praiser, a friend? Proclaim that to me, thou that art hard to deceive. O self-dependent one, thee would I, free from sin, eagerly appease with adoration. Dyashtam is Jashtam, to be pronounced as a trisyllable. Jashtam. Yeah, maybe that's it. 15, 1F, Yat, that as CJ, Pa, 242, J, Gum, Sase, Dis of Han, Slay, Pra, Mochas, Inj, O of Vach, Say. Du Laba, 49C, Tura Yam is Tura Yam. Up of I go, to be pronounced with R, secondary contraction, Sip, 22A, 48A as Turayam, Ava to be taken with a yam, Sep 5A to C. 5. Ava drugdane petreya sarjano avayavayam chakrmatanudeh avarajan pasuterpam natayum sarjavatsam nadam novasith Thumb, that last word, vase, shtam. Okay. Set us free from the misdeeds of our fathers, from those that we have committed by ourselves. Release, va, shta, O king, like a cattle stealing thief, like a calf from a rope. Ava, Surja, metrically lengthened, final, also in D. Note that the different construction in A, F of an object, and depth of a purse, and in Sid of F of a purse, and apple of that from which the is set free. Oh, that of the Shishta is set free. Drugdane, Pup of Dru. Chakrma, metrically lengthening of a final vowel, tanu bis, in the sense of a referred pronoun. Ava sarja, i.e. from sin, tayum, as one releases after he has expiated his crime, a thief who has been bound, sept 867:14, te na, dityaso, mumochata, stanum, badam, Badam Eva, such as set us free, O Adityas, like a thief who is bound. Damnas, distinguish Daman, Noun, bond, and demon. Noun, act of giving from demon, giver and gift. 6. Nasa svodaksho varuna druteh sasura manyur vividako acheteh aste jayan kaniyasa upare svapnas chaneran ratasya prayota. It was not my own intent, O Varuna, it was seduction, liquor, anger, dice, thoughtlessness. The elder is in the offense of the younger. Not even asleep is the warder off of wrong. The general meaning of this stanza is clear. The sin with which Varuna is angry has not been due to Vashishta's intention, but the seduction of one kind or another. The exact sense of 3 important words is, however, somewhat doubtful because none of them occurs in any other passage. It can, therefore, be made out from the etymology and the context only. Drutis, from the root dru, drvr, sep 167, b9, 171, 2, which occurs at the end of one or two sids as Varuna, drut, deceiving Varuna. Well, if you take it to, if it's supposed to be God or something. But then again, some of the myths, they may confuse you by putting some limits on. But the idea of God being a God being deceived is just. Sep also verse 12:5. Vrshata svayam et bachobir rjuyate vrjanana vruvanta. These have deceived themselves with their own words, uttering crooked things to the straightforward man. Thus the meaning of vrute appears to be deception, seduction. The meaning of C depends on the interpretation of upara. This word is naturally derived in accordance with analysis of pada text from upa ara argo. The sidverb upa occurs 2 or 3 times. Example, Avesta 7:106:1 yad asmarte chakrma gimchid uparema charanne. If through forgetfulness we have done anything, have offended in our conduct. The sense of the noun would therefore be offense. The whole pada meaning, the elder is involved in the is the cause of the offense of the younger, that is, an elder has led me, the younger, astray. The use of the locative here is illustrated by 6:71:2 Yah prasabe asa bumana, who is savitar, art in the stimulation of the world, i.e. art the cause of this stimulation of the world. Prayota, this word may be derived from the pra-yu join or pra-yu separate. The latter occurs in the Rigveda in the sense of drive away, while the former does not occur in the Rigveda, and later means stir, mingle. The probability is, therefore, in favor of the sense order off. Chana then would have the original sense of not even, page 229, 230. Savapnas, i.e. by producing evil dreams. 7. Aramda sonam luhuscha karane ahamdevaya vurnaya anaga achet ayad acheto devo aryo sam Raya Kadetaro Junate. I will, like a slave, do service sinless to the bounteous, angry, lightning, the noble, lightning, made the thoughtless think. He, the wiser, speeds the experienced man to wealth. Mil Husha, dative of me. Of midvams, Kurani, one sib root of ao, kur, do, to be taken with the adverb aram, 313, 4, ataya, achetayat, see chit, gurs, see chit, what is it? Awachito, debo, aryo, gurtasam, Edom, the thoughtful man, Varuna with his greater wisdom urges on, Rege, final dative of Ra'e, page 314, 1, 314, 2, Junate, third S per of Jew, speed, 8, Yam sutum yam Varuna svadavo hrdestoma upasretas chenastu samna kshame samuyoge noastu yuyampata suastiveh sadana. Let this praise be well impressed on thy heart, O self-dependent Varuna. Let us have prosperity in possession, prosperity also in acquisition. Do ye protect us evermore with blessings. Tudyam, dative of advantage, page 314, B1, S2, page 340, F on D, see note on 761, 6. And this is some really yellow one of these amanitas, but I don't know where it was.